All right, folks. This is Matt Classic, the director of AIWF Wrestling, and you're drinking those.
This is Drinkin at Demos, where we talk about the pros of pro wrestling in the Midwest while sipping on some brews with blessed beers and wrestling. That's my scene. Death matches and lucha libre, it's also mean. I'm a straight up smart goofball, not no kiss ass. I stand tall when it comes to wrestling. I'm the king. I know every move, every fling. Get ready for a wild time with Drinkin at Mo's, where we don't quit. Drinkin at Mo's, that's where it's at, like a power bomb. We hit hard, never flat. Fucking right, we're living the dream. Talking about wrestling, always a scream.
You know, I've always said here at Drinkinatmos, just because it says drinking at Mo's does not mean it has to be alcoholic. So I'm happy to say Drinking at Mo's is sponsored by Prince Nana Coffee. The exact same guy you see every week on Dynamite, on Collision. Yes, he has his own coffee, and it's freaking delicious. They don't even roast those beans until you've placed your order. And you might be telling me, hey, Big Mo, I'm more of a tea guy. They got you covered there too. Use the referral link in the description of this video. And let's get you dancing like Prince Nana with Prince Nana Coffee. All right, everybody, welcome Drinking at Mo's. Big Mo here. You know the drill. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm is a pain in the ass. We're most places and find the audio podcasts too. Don't forget about those. Today, I'm excited to have with me the director of things over there at AIWF, Matt Classic. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain too much. I've had some good interviews the last recordings I've had, and just this time last week, I was just getting back from a little bit of a much-deserved, much-needed vacation. So that was fun. Got to go over to Colorado for a little. My wife actually convinced me to go whitewater rafting our last full day there. Yeah, that was interesting. Once the adrenaline wore off, my abs were on fire. But so first thing I like to start off with everybody with is what got you started as a fan, and then what was your introduction into actually getting into the business?
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, both my parents watched wrestling. I grew up right outside of Charlotte, so I'm very familiar with the Crockett product and the WCW product, and that's what really turned me on. And we had independent wrestling, and I went to my first independent wrestling show in 1989. And
Oh boy.
we had a local promotion ran by George South and the Italian Stallion Gary Sabach.
Oh boy, yeah. I
Many
George
years.
South, very familiar with him.
I
I
just seen George. I just seen George today at the gathering. So,
I was gonna say I thought I saw he was gonna be there.
oh yeah, he was there. He was dressed up, and it's George South. He's the legend himself.
Oh yeah. I know for me, a lot of my introduction to professional wrestling growing up was back in the days when WWE or WWF was still syndicated, so it was kind of hit and miss. But the one product that was consistent was actually the WCW Saturday Night.
Yep,
That one
605, baby. 605.
Yep, every Saturday. That was the consistent wrestling programming up until probably whenever the heck Monday Night Raw started, really.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean, that's what I grew up on, the Crockett product, and like I said, I saw a lot of those guys today. I saw George South today. I saw both Ricky and Robert. I saw Tommy Wildfire Rich. I saw Magnum TA. Magnum TA actually was at the table behind me, so that was pretty funny.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, a lot of you know, a lot of big names going back to the Crockett territory days there.
Right, 100%. And the AIWF, we're proud to have a lot of those guys in our Hall of Fame. Guys like Wahoo McDaniels, guys like Ivan Koloff. A lot of great guys. A lot of great guys that I knew for many, many years.
Nice. Now, when getting things started with actually getting into the business, how did that come about for you?
I mean, it started when I was younger. Do the grunt work at the shows because, like I said, my dad he would take me to independent wrestling like basically every weekend, and
Yeah.
we were lucky enough to have shows that were basically every week here where I lived in North Carolina at the time, and just helping out. And then eventually you go to the training aspect, and eventually I learned how to wrestle. And I mean, and I just went from there to where I am now with the AIWF. Actually started working for them as basically doing everything from announcing to putting out posters to everything. And
Okay.
then I became executive director because somehow someone had to do the job. So,
Hey, definitely climbed the ladder there. Now, I was thinking because I've been somewhat familiar with the AIWF for a little bit now, even before the podcast, because I was thinking back. I actually, as of this recording, it was literally just a few days ago and I'm going to be releasing it, well, as of recording tomorrow, but recording with a former AIWF tag team champion and good friend of mine here in the area that's actually getting ready to call this his last year in Duke Cornell of Guns and Beer.
oh, yeah, I remember when they had the tag titles. Yeah, they won them out in North Dakota, I believe.
Yep. And you know what? I was actually there. I was there. That was the two-day deal, and they won them on night 2, and I was sitting front row.
They won them from Nitro and Gideon, both of them from Michigan.
Yep. I remember that night very well. I remember that most of that weekend well, because I enjoy my Dr. Pepper, but it gives me the burps like crazy. But most of that weekend I remember well, minus the after party on night 1. Things got a little fuzzy after that. Yeah. All I remember was all of a sudden somebody jamming a microphone in my face, and then I'm drunkenly singing the Puddle of Mud song, She Fucking Hates Me, out in front of a whole bunch of people, including the now Ruby Soho. And I'm like, oh, jeez. Looking back on it, I'm like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, like they're good guys. They did a good job while they had them. I know they defended out in Iowa and places, and they ended up losing them out at Frankie DeFalco's show out in Wisconsin.
I was going to say, yeah, I believe that's where I saw that they ended up dropping those straps. But hey, they've been great friends to me. I know I actually mentioned it to him when I recorded with him that, a lot of things that veterans and military veterans kind of struggle with when, getting out of their respective service is, finding a spot that, you belong, a group that you feel like you belong to, because, you're a part of that team in the military, but when you get out, it's like everybody's all spread out, like all over the country, all over the world, really.
And then, speaking of that, real quick, in regards to veterans, we just recently partnered with Veterans Pro Wrestling, which is ran by Pitbull Gary Wolf, and they're giving back to a lot of veteran causes and raising money for them, and it's been going good so far.
Oh, nice. I love hearing about stuff like that because, you know, veteran causes, veteran charities, very, very near and dear to my heart. So hearing about that, that is awesome. But yeah, Duke and the rest of the gun. Wow, words are hard. The rest of the Guns and Beer guys, very near and dear to my heart. Love them to death. And then my show actually also has another tie to AIWF in the fact that I have actually, and I mean, you had a hand in sending one of these women my way, but I have actually interviewed now the last two AIWF World Women's Champions in Clara and now Ava Brooks.
Yeah, both are great in their own ways. I mean, Clara, she's been amazing the past couple of years. I know she's got about 5 or 6 years in right now, and her husband, he just killed it on a tour of Japan. Her husband Jack,
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, great guy as well. They were just on the anniversary event where she lost it to the new champion, Miss Ava Brooks, 19 years old. She's about to be a certified medical assistant, but she just got her passport. She's lining up dates for Canada, England, Mexico, but she's already defended in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Like she's already defended some New York, so many places.
All
And she was
over
just
the
on the
place.
cover of a women's magazine on July 29th, actually, as well.
Nice. That is awesome. I think back to, there's a good crop of, wrestling talent in general right now that, I guess I never really thought of a whole lot of them getting their start as young as they are now. But
Oh yeah,
you look at Ava Brooks, you look at another former guest, Billy Starks, very
yeah.
young, but
Yeah,
still,
she's
even
about 20, I believe, Billy.
yeah. And just thinking that as young they are in life, they're already accomplishing so much in the business that you can only imagine where they'll be when they even start
Yeah.
debating. Yeah,
Let
when
me,
they
let me
even
tell you
start.
a funny story real quick, related
Okay.
to that, to guys starting young. Ricky Morton used to be our world champion, which I mentioned. I saw Ricky today, but Ricky has a son, Kerry Morton. I'm sure a lot of the listeners are familiar with. I remember Kerry rolling in the ring at like 8, 9 years old, and I know he's about like 25 now, I think, somewhere give or take, somewhere in
Yeah.
there. And yeah, I remember Kerry like at like 8, 9 years old, rolling around with guys in the ring.
Yeah. And, people like that. And, Billy and Ava Brooks, already accomplishing everything that they have, to just think about where they'll be when they start even debating about retirement is just mind blowing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're seeing people start younger and younger. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. In Mexico, it's very common as well. You got guys, they're starting out like 13, 14 years old. They have like kids divisions down there.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about some of them. I think I actually just interviewed a guy that doing pretty good for himself down in southern Missouri, Arkansas area right now. I feel bad that I'm pulling a brain fart on his name right now, but yeah, he was mentioning about that, and I'm like, wow, never would
Yeah,
have
I mean,
thought
they
about it. But
still
hey,
very young. And I know
yeah,
Sean Hernandez, who I'm going to see tomorrow as of this recording, they have
mm,
a kid program down in San Antonio. And so does Pure Pro Wrestling up in Michigan. They both have like where they start training them young, and they actually let them put on shows against each other, obviously. And
yeah,
and then they develop from there.
that is awesome. I love it when people are just getting a chance to you know show what they can do, and if somebody's got a passion for it and they're being safe about it, hell, what what's wrong with it? Now, one last AIWF, well, a former champion that I didn't really ever get to have on the show, I definitely came close, but health issues kind of they happen. But the one that got away, the late great Jason Strife,
Oh
former
yeah,
cruiserweight champ.
oh yeah, he was a great guy. I mean, he gave a lot of people opportunities. He could do everything, but yeah, he kept having all those health concerns, and he even went to the Mayo Clinic, and they tried to do what they could do, but unfortunately, he passed away.
Yeah, that was a big ordeal here in the Council Bluffs, Omaha area. Because I remember when I got my start watching independent wrestling when I was in the Navy in San Diego, was actually where I ran into him. And he told me about his promotion up here. And then I became friends with a lot of the guys. And, I actually got to tell both of his parents at the visitation that I'm like, you know, because of your son, I have a lot of the friends that I do right now. So I told them how thankful I was for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was a horrible situation, but I mean, he tried his best to persevere, and just like it didn't work out. Let's just put it that way. But
Yeah.
he was a great champion. He defended against Ricky Marvin, who's famous for Japan and Mexico, and had a lot of other things. And then he obviously had to vacate the belt due to he had a vocal cord surgery at that time. And yeah, he like I said, he told me like half his diaphragm was paralyzed. I believe is what I remember him telling me. I was like,
Mm,
dude, how does that happen? And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't defend the belt. And I'm like, well, it's okay. I mean, I understand life happens. And so then we crowned it at Below Zero Wrestling, because another top promotion out in the Dakotas.
oh yeah, I've had the promoter up there on a while back. I need to get them on again because yeah, they
Oh,
they took over for a scene that kind of got you know left behind a little bit when another partner promotion that you guys had in fully loaded wrestling up there in North Dakota.
yeah.
When they kind of shut their doors, Below Zero kind of came in and kind of picked up the mantle.
Oh yeah, and then they've done well with it. I mean, I give them all the credit in the world. They're about to run Sturgis. I mean, that's a great accomplishment. First people to run Sturgis since Road Wild, WCW.
Oh, you know what? I was just seeing their advertisements for that not very long ago, and yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about that. That nobody's ran a wrestling show at Sturgis since the very last Road Wild.
Yeah,
That is crazy. That'll be awesome for them.
yeah,
An
and
independent promotion getting to have a show on a stage like Sturgis.
one of the co-owners, well, he sold out to his former partner, but he left because he's producing for Maven and all Maven's podcasts and stuff. That was
Okay.
one of the main reasons he left the company.
Oh, you know, that is interesting. I guess I hadn't put two and two together on that. Huh.
Yeah, it was nothing bad. It was very amicable, and everything was handled wonderfully.
Oh
And
yeah.
I talked to both men still, but I know the one guy left because he's so busy with Maven, because Maven's doing great with his
Oh,
podcast and with his endeavors.
oh yeah. Like his YouTube channel just shot like a rocket. Like the numbers that he's doing are just
Yeah.
insane. That's awesome.
Yeah. Another guy who's doing great on social media that is trying out right now for WWE, Ben Bishop. I definitely think they're going to sign him.
Oh yeah, I just heard that he had his tryout.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. I look for. You know what? I think I actually, before I heard about the tryout, I actually messaged him about trying to see about coming on. But I guess with being down there for the WWE tryout, he's a little busy right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that too much. But going back a little bit with AIWF, for a lot of people that don't really remember the territory days, you guys are really like a nod back to that, because you got the partnership promotions. Not only, people don't realize, back, let's say, NWA, yeah, they had the partnerships in the States too, but they also had, partnership promotions all over the world, much
And,
like,
and they had the biggest promotions. Like they were partners with Email in Mexico, which is now CMall. They were partners with Baba in all Japan. Canada, they had Toronto, Montreal, all that were NWA members in its heyday.
yep. And you guys also have partnership promotions all over. I'm seeing Canada,
Yeah,
UK, Mexico, Australia.
yeah, we have over 150 promotional partners in 52 countries currently. We just added Northern Ireland the other day.
That
Northern
is,
Ireland Pro Wrestling. They're based out of Belfast. Some of our bigger partners in the world, IWRG in Mexico is one of the top promotions, and they're slightly north of Mexico City. And I know I'm going to butcher it, but Nakapolan is I believe how they pronounce it.
okay.
That's how
Yeah.
my southern accent pronounces it. But
Yeah.
but anyway, IWRG runs a roughly 3,000 seat building every week. So I mean that's very telling.
that is awesome. And yeah, you guys got, great talent going all over to all of those. And I mean, I'm part Irish, so hearing about the promotion in Ireland, I'm like, oh man, I'd love to go there. But then there's also Australia, which is, I mean, it's been bucket list travel for me to go to Australia.
Yeah, Australia, it's a wonderful place. They do pretty well down there, and they're running a lot. They're doing pretty good. They have a national champion down there. We have a champion in Latin America, which is Hio Dos Caros. That's Alberto Del Rios' brother, and obviously he's the son of Dos Caros. We have a Canadian champion in Wesley Pipes. He's about 6'5", about 300 pounds, very built gentleman. He's already defended on the eastern side of Canada as well as into Toronto and Montreal. And yeah, I mean things are going well. I really honestly I can't complain. But I mean it's a lot of work and it is what it is some days. But we've managed to make it work for so long, and we just keep adding. And our television show, AIWF Across the Globe, is growing. I think we just dropped episode 27, 28 yesterday. I can't tell you which it is, but Gorilla Press Productions, my productions partner on that project, they do a killer job. And the show airs in Pittsburgh, New York, Chicago, on a lot of channels, and it keeps growing. Everybody's like, hey, let's put it on. I'm like, let's do it. And we've just been adding and adding and adding.
That is awesome, because it just gives that much more exposure to the talent. It gives that much more, because wow, words are hard, but the exposure and giving people the opportunities to be on a TV product, which
Yeah.
There's the streaming platforms, but when you have like an actual TV presence on like normal TV.
Yeah, yeah, it's mostly on like cable access and digital sub channels, but it's still like you can pick it up, with your basic cable, your basic box.
Yeah, which for a lot of people that might not be able to afford a lot of the streaming platforms, because good Lord, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
When you have access to that, and then let's say, hell, you're living close to the area of one of these places that are going to be on across the globe, it's like,
And
oh
and,
man.
and the lovely thing that we have done with Across the Globe, it's not just one promotion; it's the whole organization
Yeah.
about from across the globe. We try to like some of the better storylines that are going on, some of the most important ones. We try to keep you updated on title changes, stuff of that nature. But I mean, it's been a good project so far. We're about like I said, we're about 27 episodes in, so that's basically half a year, let's say. And I mean, it just keeps getting stronger and stronger every week.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And I mentioned kind of going on a little bit of a, back to the territory days, a little old school. I get a lot of sense of a bit of a old school traditional feel to the wrestling products, which is great because I know me, I love some old school smash mouth, you know, knock the snot out of your wrestling. So when you're getting a platform to really show that, love it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you have to show a wide variety of styles, and like
Oh,
that's the thing with wrestling. It's very cultural. Whether it's lucha libre in Mexico, whether it's strong style in Japan, whether it's American style wrestling, it's so cultural and geographically distinct in a lot of ways, but also the same.
oh yeah, and another thing you mentioned, showing a little bit of something for everybody. You know, I don't believe back in the well, maybe my memory is escaping me on some of it, but you don't see a lot of you know death match style on like a national level unless you're talking about the obvious of like a GCW or well GCW is really the national one, but you guys even have a deathmatch champion, which I mean,
Yeah,
for me,
yeah,
I love the
D Mason out of
hardcore.
Colorado right now, and we've had a lot of great names hold that belt. Like Madman Pondo held it. Chuck Stein out of Michigan, which I love Chuck Stein. He's an awesome talent. But I mean, we try to feature every style. We have a shoot fighting champion, Mustafa Jordan out of Canada, and Mustafa Jordan's defended in Australia. He's defended in Canada, and he's defended in the United States.
Hey, the definition of a world traveled champion right there.
Yeah, I mean, he was also he's a very proficient catch wrestler. Yeah, he's done really well, and so is my buddy Heidi Korai. He's in Argentina right now, but I think Heidi's wrestled in 25 countries. He's a huge star down in Mexico. He was also the number three catch wrestler in the world like about 2 years ago. He finished third place in the Snake Pit tournament in London.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I'm like, so my
yeah.
my my son's being a little vocal right now. Like he was, you know, if you remember, the Anchorman movie when he got fired and he's like in the bar, all like, oh, sad, and then he's like, I make fart noises with my mouth. He's been doing that for about the solid last couple of minutes here. Getting me a little
Well,
distracted, but I love it. I love all of the different varieties of wrestling and champions that you guys have. It's it's great because it really showcases what people say with the really great wrestling shows having you know that variety, that buffet style where little something for everybody.
I mean, I compare it to the circus. I mean, you don't want to see the same act every match. So,
No, very true. Yeah, it gets a little boring watching the same thing over and over. Little variety in there definitely helps. Now, my categories that I have here, I have two. One's a bit of a name game, and thinking back to the territory days, because I try to, yeah, you're trying to make your opinion known here, aren't you? But anyways, I theme it towards the guests as much as possible, and each of these people, going back to my start watching wrestling, very big in Crockett, and very big in just the territory days in general. So I give you the name, first answer that pops into your head.
yeah, no problem.
First one, well, actually, you know what? The first three really, I think of a lot when, Crockett and, old school WCW days back when, they still had the NWA championship there with them. The one that really jumps to mind, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Rick's like probably the man that influenced me the most, the man that probably idolized in pro wrestling. And he was the last true traveling champion in major pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, because he literally went everywhere. Like
Yeah.
heck, there's not very many people that can say that they've gone and been in a pro wrestling show in North Korea of all places.
Yeah.
That guy did it.
Yeah.
Next up, a guy very familiar with him and, very familiar with, we talked about, deathmatch hardcore style. This guy was kind of the godfather of it. The late, great Terry Funk.
Just a legend and probably the most adaptable man in pro wrestling like that there ever was.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I just think the guy that, even at his age back in, the original ECW, going and pulling off moonsaults off of like ladders and stuff. I'm like thinking that he's gonna break every bone in his body.
Oh yeah, he could do everything and anything he wanted. My good friend Bob Cook, who used to actually wrestle for the Crockett's, and that he actually owns a pair of Terry Funk's boots.
Oh man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I've got some wrestling memorabilia that I've lucked into. I got the deathmatch fan in me. One of my personal favorites, Alex Colon, the Blood Fighter, Alex Colon. I actually got a pair of his ring worn kick pads signed by him that I'm just waiting to get displayed. And
Yeah, probably my prize memorabilia. I have one of the sequins from Ric Flair's '83 robe, which I'm actually going to get to put on this weekend. So
oh, sweet.
yeah,
My other that my first ever no ring deathmatch show that I ever went to. The ticket that I bought, I thought there were going to be more people in this raffle than there must have been, but my ticket included an entry into a raffle for a event used item signed by everybody on the card. And I didn't realize until like at the very end of the show that once the promoter came up and handed it to me, but it was like, oh, all right, gotta love the technology. Can't live with it, can't live without it. But was talking about memorabilia from my first ever no ring deathmatch show. The ticket included an entry into a raffle for an event used item signed by everybody on the card. I didn't think I was going to win. I was like, oh, it'd be fun, just a chance. Well, at the end of the show, promoter walks up and hands me half a door signed by everybody.
Oh wow.
And I still remember the look on my wife's face when she came downstairs one time, saw the door, half a door with a big old dent in it, and a somewhat fresh blood stain, and was like, is that blood on that? I was like, yeah. But yeah, it was a fun time. Uh, before I get on to too big of a tangent, next name on the list, the name game list.
Mm.
I huge fan of his, huge fan of both of his sons. The late great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will.
Oh yeah, hard times, baby, hard times. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Dusty's probably like the most charismatic man that's ever been in pro wrestling.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. That he definitely had an eye for talent, not just in his sons, but in the group that they called Dusty's Kids in the NXT when he was helping with things down there. And I I'm I've been telling this story a little bit, but you know when when WWE released the documentary on his son Cody shortly after he came back, and he was talking about the time frame around when Dusty was when he was dying. No delicate way to really put that. And was talking about how it's not like in the movies where it happens fast and you're walking around the practically memorizing the hospital floor plan. Well, if there's a wrestler that I want to meet really bad besides my all-time favorite Stone Cold Steve Austin, Cody would probably be it, because I would want to tell him how much that part spoke to me, because my wife and I were pregnant with twin girls like a couple years ago. And they were born premature and only made it a week. But that entire week, it was work, home to check on wife and dogs, hospital, and then back at it again the next day. I
Mm.
could go and literally look without even thinking about second guessing where I'm going, drive right over to the hospital and go right to where their NICU rooms were without even thinking about it. So to get to tell him how that particular spot spoke to me would be something. Now, last but not least, another name for the territory days. A guy that growing up when I was younger, I'll admit, scared the ever loving crap out of me. But looking back, I love the intense personas, and this guy was a very definition of it. Bruiser Brody.
I mean, Bruiser was just he was his own man. I mean, at the end of the day, and I mean, just a character and just everything. His wife Barbara is actually very good friends with AIWF promoter Herb Simmons. He runs SICW out in well, he runs in Illinois, but they also run in St. Louis. So
Okay. I knew they ran in St. Louis quite a bit.
yeah,
That's awesome.
she just actually did an interview on their television show like maybe a week or two ago.
You know what? I was thinking I heard something about that somewhere. I
Yeah.
forget where I heard about that, but yeah, I do remember seeing something about an interview.
Yeah. Herb learned from Larry Matzik, who learned from Sam Muchnick himself. And Herb's been in it so long, he knew Bruiser Brody really well back in like the 70s and 80s. And Herb's also been the mayor over there outside of St. Louis for like I think 32 years. He's been the
Oh
mayor.
boy,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
Yeah, he's been the mayor for like I think it's like 30, it's 30 plus years. I can say that confidently.
All right, now before we go into my random question category, I did want to talk about the gathering that you've been at the last,
Yeah, yeah.
that you're at right
Today was
now,
the first
actually.
day. Yeah, today was first day, and they're going through Sunday of this week, so it's 3 more days. But I'm going to be there the next two more days.
That is awesome. Now, there's a lot of great wrestling conventions out there. This one, they got quite the names. What are you looking forward to with these next couple of days that you're going to be there?
I'm definitely going to meet the Great Muta. I've never met him before, and I mean, I look forward to that.
All
Uh,
that, yeah.
yeah, that's going to be a big one. Like I said, I got seven-time NWA Tag Champion Hernandez is going to be hanging out with me for the next 2 days after the day. And I mean, I've met him before, but like it's just gonna be a fun time. He's a fun guy, and he's still in phenomenal shape. He still performs around the country. I know just this year he's wrestled in at least 10 states.
Yeah, I know he stops over here in Nebraska every so often. I've just never been able to, always been busy. But he's definitely somebody I remember from, older TNA days, LAX, Homicide, some of the crazy stuff they were able to pull off.
Oh yeah, and Homicide himself, like he's a great guy. He's down in the Sunshine State now, so I think he's enjoying life a lot more.
Yeah, I think he just earlier this year had his retirement match. I believe I don't want to, delve into too much, but he had his reasons for needing to hang him up. But he definitely had one hell of a career and definitely deserves, to enjoy his time away.
100%. Like I said, he's a great guy. I talk to him here and there, but I talk to Hernandez like every other day. But they do great. Like he runs San Antonio style wrestling, and they have a great academy in San Antonio for any aspiring wrestlers. And he's
Nice.
also trained by another guy, Mr. Rudy Boy Gonzalez, who another guy I've known for like 20 years. He goes all the way back to the old Southwest wrestling days himself.
Oh boy. Yeah, that goes back a little bit. But yeah, Hernandez would definitely be somebody I would definitely be looking to get on the podcast. He's definitely somebody I would love to hear some stories, going back to, TNA lockdown days. I've heard a lot about some of those events.
Anatomy. He had a decent runs in Japan for All Japan and 01. And
That
he did
too.
pretty well in Texas. And the first time I actually met Hernandez, this is going to probably date myself, but when he was a North American champion, he would come down to Wildside in Cornelia, Georgia.
Mm.
Yeah, wow, man, Wildside was my jam, man. Like that was the show.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about stuff back then. I'm trying to remember because I've had. Oh God, I'm inching closer to dog acting up right now, but inching close to 400 episodes, and I remember hearing, wild side stuff from. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but guy going now by the Rev with
Mr. Wilson, yes.
Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Wilson. Yeah, I actually did commentary with him at a show in right outside Chattanooga one time.
Oh yeah.
He's a character,
TWE,
man. He's
TWE Chattanooga, and man, his persona when he really gets everything done up to be the Rev and everything they're doing with the Coven of the Goat, I'm loving it.
yeah.
I've had all but like one maybe two members of the Coven of the Goat on this podcast.
Have you had Tank?
Hank was the first one.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's a character, man. He's as real as it can get.
Oh yeah. Nope. And that's what I love. I love that authenticity. I love the intensity, the authenticity of it. Now, I believe Jaden Newman, I believe, is like one of the only ones out of the group I haven't had on yet.
Yeah. I mean, I've known Jaden since he was a young man. So he's coming to his own. He just toured Germany, I know. So, I mean, he's doing well.
Oh, yeah. He's doing very good for himself. Now, I mentioned I picked that up for my son here. I mentioned random questions, some wrestling related, some not. Well, my son continues to throw stuff. I give you the question first answer that pops into your head.
Yeah, let's go.
First one. Now I know being a director for AIWF and other places that you've just been to shows at, you probably witnessed a few of these, but craziest in match moment that you've witnessed.
Craziest in match moment. Dude, I would say this is a long time ago. I seen a guy. He went for a split leg moonsault outside of the ring and landed on his head and cracked his head like a watermelon.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that would definitely fit. I know I've witnessed my fair share of crazy ones from promotion's version of the Money in the Bank match, and they had like a ladder bridge between a guardrail and a ring and the ring apron. And I saw somebody with somebody on their back, like Sheamus's White Noise, with the head down here,
Yeah.
legs up. And then I see him looking down at the ladder. I'm like, no. But nope, he looked down, he jumped, and the ladder folded.
Yeah.
And
I
both
mean,
disappeared.
it's not ballet, and sometimes they take a little more risk than they should out there.
Yeah, that is true. And when I was talking with Duke Cornell recently, because he's dabbled in some death matches, I always ask anybody that's dabbled in it, what is a weapon that you would avoid being used on you in a match if you had the choice? And well, he told me for him, it was glass and fire. And I got a laugh out of telling him that conveniently enough, the very first death match that I ever actually witnessed, it ended with the use of both. Because they took 4 folding chairs, 2 panes of glass, and then before you know it, somebody's rolling into the ring with a thing of lighter fluid.
Mm.
It was intense. And
Did,
then,
did you see I think it was in IWA, the guy that he put the hoodie on and put the lighter fluid on it and caught himself on fire?
oh, yeah, I've seen some stuff similar to that. That is insanity. But
Yeah.
you might have witnessed one of my crazy moments that I've got to witness that was actually relatively recently, back when AEW Dynamite did a show here in Omaha. They had the infamous John Moxley Adam Copeland street fight
Oh yeah.
with the nail board spot. I was third row right by the entrance. It literally happened right in front of me. Yeah, I could literally, when I was sitting close enough that when they were trying to pull it out of Moxley's back, that I could literally see it was like the skin trying to hold on to the nails and just, oh, it was insane.
Oh yeah. I mean, I believe it. Like they take some risks over there.
That they do. It was just funny for me because, you know, you've seen spots with those similar looking nail boards happen. Abyss was huge with the the nail boards and stuff like that, but you never really saw somebody get suplexed directly onto the nail part of it.
Yeah.
It was nuts. But all right, next question that I have for you in the random questions. What is a hobby you have, if anything, outside of wrestling? Because I know being executive director for AIWF and everything, all the responsibilities you have, probably takes up quite a bit of time.
Yeah, it takes quite a bit of time, but it's doable. Probably comic books. I have about 20,000 comic books.
Ooh, okay. What anything in particular that you like to collect out of those? Like, are you like a diehard, Marvel or DC guy, or
No,
you just
no,
like it
nothing,
all
nothing
around?
like that. I'm a Bronze Age fan. I like from the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, I'm very into like the war tales and like Western stuff and stuff of that nature and monsters
Oh, okay.
and all that. I haven't really been into superheroes in a very long time, so like that's most of my collection is
Okay.
stuff like that.
Okay. Now that everybody has a hobby, Lord knows I display some of mine. I haven't been too into collecting comic books lately, but as part of one of my collections, growing up, it was always pro wrestling and Ninja Turtles for me. That was my two things
Yeah,
that I was just a crazy fan of. And I have the hardback copy of the entire Last Ronin story,
yeah.
and I actually have a copy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic with the first appearance of Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady.
Oh wow.
I'm rather proud of those two, and I've actually, well, I won't go into all that I have back here, but the couple of Ninja Turtle comic related ones, I've actually got to meet the voice of Michelangelo from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon and got a Funko Pop signed by him.
Wow.
One of my prized possessions. And then the recently passed away Jim Shooter from
Yeah. The
Marvel.
Marvel editor. Yeah.
I actually have a Captain America Funko Pop signed by him.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've got to meet Stan Lee. I met like
Oh,
one of them back in the day. Charlotte has a huge convention called Heroes Con, and they've been around about 30 years, and that's kind of where I got started collecting. So, like I said, again, my old man, he'd take me to all kinds of stuff. He'd be like, "Here you go, let's go." So,
hey, hey, get to have a good old time. I
yeah,
know. I wish they had some stuff like that growing up around these parts when I was growing up. But hey, we got a little bit of it now, so maybe I can share that with my little guy here.
See, where I live, we have 6 comic book shops just in the city itself. So,
Oh wow, that is awesome.
yeah,
That
it's
is
crazy. Yeah, it's a little wild, but I mean, it's
now,
not.
yeah. Well, next up here, favorite holiday.
I mean, probably Christmas because you get stuff. I mean, everybody likes to get stuff.
Oh yeah, no, everybody, and me, Christmas. It holds even a little more special of a meaning now, seeing as my son here was actually born this last Christmas Eve.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we went in for what was going to be, we thought was just going to be my wife's final ultrasound appointment, and blood pressure was a little high. So they just told her, well, you were going to be back in a few days anyways. How about we start this process now?
Hmm.
And
Wow.
then I was like running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, oh, I gotta.
Yeah, and my son, he was humongous when he was born. He was 24 inches and 11 pounds.
Holy shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
my son was just shy of 9.
yeah.
And now he is, I'm trying to think what my wife was telling me. He is 7 months and already about 23, 24 pounds.
Oh wow, he's heavy to carry already.
Oh yeah. And it's always funny for me watching him whenever we go where my the older of my two sisters, for example, she had a little girl like right about a month after my son was born. She is literally half his size.
Wow.
And it's just like I guess I don't necessarily notice exactly how big he is until we get into a situation like that where they're literally right next to each other. And it's like, holy crap. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I feel like I have to ask this. Favorite drink, whether alcoholic or otherwise, because I have plenty of people on for one reason or another don't drink. So I always
Yeah.
try to tell people just because it says drinking at Moe's doesn't mean that it has to be alcoholic.
I don't drink as much as I used to anymore as I've gotten older, but I mean my drinking choices I like Jack Daniel's whiskey and Coke. That's what I like the best.
Oh yeah, I'm good with that myself. I do like to, whenever possible, add a little grenadine to it. Tastes like a Jack and Cherry Coke.
Well, I like the honey, so like it's got a sweet already.
Oh yeah, I
Honey whiskey, yeah.
oh yeah, that's a good one. I I actually one time I had one of those little shooter bottles of Jack Honey, and I had a can of Dr. Pepper in my hand. And I was like, I dumped it in there. Jack Honey
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper is freaking delicious.
Oh yeah, it's a good product. I mean, they do a great job up there in Tennessee.
Oh, that they do. Now, last but not least, for the random questions, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling?
Don't do it.
You're not the first person to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm sure I'm not. But I mean, it's fun a lot of times, but it's also soul crushing at the same time. And I mean, 9 out of 10 guys, you're probably not going to make it. And I mean, you're gonna have a lot of trials and tribulations. It's a fun time, but I mean, it's not necessarily worth it all the time.
Yeah, you definitely got to really want it and realize that, not everybody's going to get to the main event WrestleMania right away if they get there at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And I mean, one thing Ricky Morton told me one time, he's like, you're going to see the same people going up the ladder that you see going down. So think about that in the way you treat people.
That is a very good point because, you know, it makes it a lot easier for people to treat you well on your way down that ladder if you were treating everybody well on your way up.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, you only have so much shelf life, and that's what you have to worry about. And I mean that, and I can, but to be honest, the thing I can tell, be diverse in your skill set. Have multiple skill sets, and the more you can bring to the table, the more valuable you are to any show. That's in anything, whether it's a job, a
Yeah.
wrestling show, or anything. Just develop your skills.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely the more you can offer to whatever promotion or hell, like you said, more you can offer
Yeah, workplace or
job you
anything.
have out there. Yeah, definitely
And I
helps.
mean, yeah, and you're gonna make more money the more skill sets you have. So,
That is very true. Yeah, because just lets the people know you're more valuable. Now, before we go, where can people let people know where they can follow AIWF and where they can, get their eyes on the stars of the roster that you guys have and all the great action they can see from AIWF.
of course, just check us out on social media at AIWF Wrestling. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can go to the AIWF Network on YouTube. You got everybody's got Google name. Type in AIWF Wrestling, just pop up.
Oh yeah, nope. Heck, when putting my notes together, I even did that myself. Just Googled wow. Words are hard right now. That is crazy. But yes, I've definitely done that with putting my notes together. Long story short on that one. Well, that is about all I have. It was great having you on. Great talking about AIWF and a lot of the things that y'all got going on with, the network and all the great international territories that you guys got going on. I love hearing about all of it. And you know what? You're welcome back anytime at all.
Great. Sounds good to me.
All right. My issue with this freaking button. Damn.